Good afternoon, traders. It is Tuesday, September 6th, 2016, and the U.S. stock market is closed. Hey, there's quite a bit of disconnect, I thought, in the markets today, and the disconnect started with I posted, I think, 6, 7 posts um, on stock twits and uh, Twitter and all that. In each and every one of these posts, I said it was Monday. So I'm very sorry. It is Tuesday. I know it's Tuesday, and I hope this does not reflect my trading competence. That I don't know what day it is today. I hope you guys all had a great weekend. I did, and here we are back on Tuesday. We had today again a problem that I keep having recently. We made money today, but it's like we start out the day a whole lot better, and it gets worse as the day goes on. I think 35 minutes into the day we had about $16,000 in profits in open trade, and when we get to the end of the day, that isn't what we have. We ended up closing out positive $121. That isn't going to make us rich. We are carrying positive 7,000 going into tomorrow. That's pretty good, but it's maybe just a little bit shaky because we have 21 new positions that we took today, and 13 are positive, 8 are negatives. A good ratio, and as I say, we're positive, but things have got to go. I hope things will just go a little bit better tomorrow. We'll get a nice open, and things will get better rather than worse, because we need a day like tomorrow, and if we get that, uh, we could make a lot of money. With 21 positions, we could make a lot of money. But as I say, we kept having a few little problems, and maybe not even little problems, pretty big problems. I'll show you that in a second. I'll talk about the Dow here. First of all, as I say, I called it up for today. It did close up 46 points today. The Dow has been doing these crazy patterns every morning. It opens up, and then it comes down here and makes a low, and then it rallies. Actually, this is your classic bull spike, but we've seen this, I think, 4 days in a row. We saw this on Friday. Here's the spike here that it rallies from. Then Thursday, here's the spike here. It rallies from there. And even go all the way back to Wednesday, we get the spike here, and it rallies. And so it's been really stuck in this pattern for the past 4 days. But regardless, my calls after those patterns have been accurate on all 4 days. And I will again call the Dow on Tuesday up, or I will call the Dow up for tomorrow, which is Wednesday. Okay? I'll show you what went on today, and I'm going to start out with the terrible. And this was terrible. And we haven't had anything quite this bad in quite a while. This says Navistar, and this thing gaps up this morning. I didn't calculate this exactly, but it looks like the gap up this morning was around 80 to 90%. Yeah, they just short of doubling the price on the open. I don't know what the fundamentals behind that was, but regardless, we had this huge gap up, and of course, we buy the gaps. I keep saying that all the time, and unfortunately, this thing didn't pull back very much by the time we get into it. So we're getting into this thing when it's in the stratosphere, and then it starts to fill the gap. And what happened here is it came back. We are holding, folks, negative $12,000 in this thing. I mean, that's huge. That's absolutely humongous. And we haven't had a trade that we held negative $12,000 in a long, long time, and it doesn't feel good. And it's an absolute miracle that we're still positive $7,000 in spite of this thing. But I'm looking at this, and I got to try and be optimistic about it. It does look like it's stabilized pretty good here, and what can often happen when you get one of these huge gaps, you get a lot of these opportunists that come in here and they just think, well, this is so high, it's got to go down, and they come in there and they load up on short positions, and they're thinking they're going to make a lot of money on this. And the caveat is, if this thing jumps up a little tomorrow morning, it may start squeezing those shorts, and this thing could go back up pretty strong. Okay, that could happen. And I'm encouraged by the fact that for the last half of the day, price was pretty stable. But believe me, it makes me a little queasy in the stomach carrying negative $12,000 on any single given stock. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Fortunately, and if we didn't have this fortune, we'd be in a world of hurt today. We had another stock that did more than make up for that. And this is JNUG, which is leveraged gold. And, 3 days ago we bought this thing. We got out of it on Friday. I can't remember exactly. I think that was about $5,000, if I remember correctly, that we took out of that. And then it kept going, and we got re-entered. And I was very nervous about this re-entry here. But it closed about $1,000 in our favor, and then look here what happened today. It gaps up, it keeps going, and if that is it does this big rally right the last 15 minutes of the day. Folks, we're up $14,000 positive in gold. Yeah, we got positive 14,000. So the positive 14,000 in gold more than offsets that negative 12,000 in Navistar. And that's how we're coming up with positive open trade going into tomorrow. So gold saved us today. I mean, we didn't have this gold trade, we'd be in a world of hurt, believe me. But this is just fabulous. As I say, $14,000 positive in gold. And then, we had 21 positions, and they were kind of just back and forth types of stuff, but we had a couple good ones in there. And this was an example. This was 3D Corporation. We'd bought this on Friday. Right out of the gate, it actually closed against us a little bit, but then we had this nice big gap up, little pullback there, but I don't think this is too serious. Anyway, we are holding positive $3,000 in 3D Systems. If I said 3D Corporation, I meant 3D Systems. Anyway, so in spite of some pretty anxious moments today, we did have a pretty good day, but we need follow through tomorrow. And God, if we could just cut that Navistar trade, go from negative 12,000, negative 6,000 tomorrow, that would be fantastic. Anyway, that's the way it went. This is Trader Bob signing off. See you tomorrow on Wednesday.